One of the players, I think, we have a lot of games known of what he's done prior to this. He ended up, I think, getting back in 2014 a first place. Since then, he's got a lot of top 8s, top 12s in very large events. And considering he's rated, top 50 in the Chinese scene, and with the amount of players in the Chinese scene, I think that says a lot about his quality as a player.
And on the other hand, Dog is the finalist of DreamHack Summer. And recently he even won a tournament. So he is in a great shape. After joining Liquid, he was playing a lot, streaming a lot, and he's having good results. So he is a fearsome player. What about the lineups, though?
It's interesting because Dog didn't bring Rogue, right? Like, we talk about Dog a lot as a Rogue player, one of the only Rogue players left in tournaments nowadays, despite the fact that the class is not that great. Or at least a lot of people recognize that it wasn't that good. Last time he brought it, he actually got, a little bit of a... It was a big drawback. It wasn't a right metagame for it. I expected him maybe to try to bring it here.
It was created in Insomnia, actually.
Yeah. It was good when JJ played it, but Dog really didn't get too much done with that deck prior to that. So he still chose not to bring it. And based on this, looks like a very control-heavy lineup. I'm expecting Freeze Mage. Druid being banned on the side of Xiaobu indicates that he doesn't want to run up against a Druid. Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. And we're ready with game 1, so it starts right now.
Oh my god, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I wanted to see it, and it's there, right in front of us. So this is a new interesting deck. A deck with Murlocs. It's a combo control Paladin. You play a couple of Murlocs during the course of the game, you try to survive, and then win with Anything Can Happen for 10 mana, just bring those Murlocs alive. And they deal a lot of damage now, Chris.
They deal, I think the baseline combo, a lot of people used to run Grimscale Oracle, but then it got, people started cutting it. And what that means is that the combo deals, at the moment, 22 damage if every single Murloc dies. Because you have 2 Anyfins, you usually are able to get 2 rounds of it, and the second one hits even harder. What's interesting about this is that if Priest plays Thought Steal, there is a chance that he pulls off the combo before his opponent does.
Yeah, there is a couple of ways. Entomb, for example, can break the combo a bit when he's still a War Leader, or even an old Murkai and never play it.
Alright, so it looks like a Dragon Priest versus Murloc. I don't know how Dragon Priest fares against it. I want to say on one end that it should be fine, but the thing is it's a very tempo-heavy deck, and the way the Control Paladin Murloc combo deck plays, you don't get to get anything to stick. The Doomsayers have been added to the deck, which makes it even less likely the Priest can handle it. Shadow Word Pain, however, will make that perhaps a bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. It can deal with Doomsayer, but you can't deal with Pyromancer Equality. I'm not sure if Xiaobu is actually playing this combination of cards, because we had a lot of different builds in the past of Anything Can Happen.
Yeah, and Monster for Battle is not everywhere, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Like some people, most people cut Jugglers, some people cut Dr. Boom. Sometimes there are heal bots, no heal bots. So I wonder which version is he playing. How many Murlocs is he even running?
Well, he has to be running double Bluegale, double War Leader, and Murkai.
Yeah, that's the standard.
Oracle, exactly. Like the Grimscale Oracle is more of a novelty, although you do sometimes see it. It's just very infrequent.
All right, so preemptive Doomsayer on board to stop some aggression. Is it the time where you just let it go, or do you Shadow Word Pain?
I think you still have to deal with it, because you may... Like, what else would you Shadow Word Pain in this matchup?
Well, a second Doomsayer. When it actually matters.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess it's an interesting spot to be in, because if you don't keep removal for the second one, then you're going to get punished. The thing is, if you can keep a 1/6 alive, Paladin has no way to deal with this. You Shadow Word Pain, you attack the 1/1, and then you heal it up. There's very little that Paladin can do.
Yeah, but it doesn't deal that much damage overall. I mean, the 1/6 is annoying for a Paladin because it does kill the 1/1s. But it doesn't push the gameplay that much. And what do you have to do as a Priest? You kind of race the Paladin right now. You want to deal with them before they can unleash Anything Can Happen.
Absolutely, yeah. But I thought maybe keeping the body on the board when Velen is chosen was a good option. We'll see what Dog opts to do here, because there's a lot of lines of play, and one of them, as you said, is just letting the Doomsayer do its thing, use Shadow Word Pain when it's going to be very relevant. Even dealing with just a Murloc War Leader sometimes can be enough. So.
All right, so let's evaluate the hands. We talked about the Priest a bit, with the Shadow Word Pain being a great card, Dog saving it for the second Doomsayer for the future. What about Xiaobu? He does have one Bluegill for the moment.
Paladin looks like... I mean, the thing is, they don't have Wild Pyro, but seeing Equality, I think, indicates that he does run it. Dog was telling me before the match, I was asking him, what are you bringing? And he told me, I'm bringing Priest, and it is Dragon Priest. And I told him, aren't you afraid of, Murloc Pal? He said, that's the one thing I'm the most afraid of. And as it turns out, he faces off against his worst nightmare, despite the fact that he did bring a pretty well-rounded control lineup. Lucky for him, at least, it's going to be one game. If things go wrong, the Conquest format will make sure that he can go ahead and do well. Because this hand from Lvxiaobu just doesn't seem like it's going to leave Dog any option for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's a great control hand, even though there's not much pressure, but you don't need pressure as Xiao. We just want to control the board as much as possible. That
if the game lasts, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you have to do. The only thing he needs are the Murlocs.
Oh!
Wow, that Hearthstone Jones, a great card to get.
Pretty good draw. Pretty good draw here for Dog. Hearthstone Jones in Priest is not something you see all the time.
Yeah.
You see it more in Dragon, but it's still not what you see the most.
Well, it was important for a couple of reasons. First, he was able to draw a couple of cards, and during the course of the games, he has to have the best play every turn. And then he put a great body on board as well.
Yeah, Dog right now, though, the 1/1s are kind of annoying. You want to find a Holy Nova to deal with this. You would love to find one of those. Honestly, a Wild Pyromancer, if he's running those, which I doubt in Dragon Priest, would also be pretty good. He's got a lot of spells, not a lot to do with them, and very few minions, unfortunately.
A lot of spells, but the AoEs are limited as well. That's why Paladin is good versus Priest.
Yeah.
At some point, you just always have to deal with the dudes. Like, not this kind of Paladin, but overall, you always have to deal with the dudes, and you just run out of the AoE spells.
Yeah, it's like Control Paladin back in the days of, let's say, Naxxramas, where they would win against Warrior just because there was no way for the Warrior to handle the 1/1s. It wasn't even about the big threats.
And we're talking about the big combo as well,
exactly.
Like Murlocs. But on the other hand, if you just deal enough damage with the dudes, you'll not have to have the full combo. Just a couple of Murlocs will be enough to deal 14 maybe to finish the game.
Yeah, you need maybe as you said, 12 to 20 damage might just be enough. And the scary thing if you're the Priest in a spot like this is if you don't have Entomb, you can't break the combo at all. Yeah. There is no way.
There are also ways to actually play around Entomb. Just play your Murloc
and kill them.
Yeah, kill them. Yeah,
it happens all the time. And one of the interesting plays that I find hilarious is when you see somebody who's playing, Murloc Paladin, and they're going Wild Pyromancer, play Muster for battle, they lose the dudes, and they play Solemn Vigil just to cycle through the deck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so ridiculous to think that works, but when you're desperate to get the combo off. I've seen it happen, and it's just one of those weird, quirky things about the Anything Can Happen deck that makes it super fun to watch.
Do you think Xiaobu is actually playing Solemn Vigil?
I don't know if he is. It'd be... I mean, we see Muster. I think I'd be hard-pressed not to be playing it.
All right, so Xiaobu is getting rid of the board from Dog, setting up slowly, just getting a turn after turn. He will be able to cast Anything Can Happen on 9, but there are no Murlocs. There was only one Bluegill. Yeah,
but right now I think Dog, with a Twilight Guardian, Velen's chosen turn, he's seen the equality right away. He thinks, he's right in that thought, the Twilight Guardian might just live. If you make it a 5/10, how does the Paladin stop that? I mean, that's a really big minion.
He's also seen one Doomsayer already.
Exactly. So
there can be something like Aldor.
I mean, he could use Aldor. There's a possibility for Consecration. There's a lot of ways it could happen. But overall, I feel like Dog is going to have to try to get something to stick and keep it healed up. It's one of the few ways in which I see him win this game.
Well, he has to do something. He can't just pass here.
And you can't just play this minion unless you play Shadow Word Pain with it, and it still dies. So you got to buff it. All right, we're all in, says Dog. Good call. Ooh.
There's the Consecration, but still, even with a Pyromancer, it was easy to deal with this
coin and pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Pyro coin, hero power, and you're done.
Well, obviously, attack first with everything.
Sure, that helps. That helps.
That will be the most expensive Bluegill, by the way. 10 mana Bluegill, 2 to face.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the worst possible combos you can have, right? Like, just a lot of Bluegills.
Yeah, like a full board of Bluegills is the worst.
Yeah, you just get like only 14 damage, unfortunately. I guess War Leaders are bad against Light Bombs if you get like 7 of them because they don't even attack, but at least they deal damage.
That's true. All right, so what do? Do you just Consecration here? Well, because you can't really deal with the 5/10, you have to, like with any specific card, you probably have to attack into it, and you don't want to leave an empty open board.
You might take your time, honestly, if you're Xiaobu here, because one of the ways you can win anyway is just letting maybe the Priest overextend. You know he needs to put stuff down to win against you. The only fear you might have here is Holy Nova. You know, if he has the Velen's Chosen on the 5/10 and Holy Nova comes up, then you're in a really bad spot. And this is one of the cards that Dog wanted to see, no doubt.
But you probably can't play it yet. Or
You have seen an equality.
Yeah, one equality. There is a second one somewhere.
Oh, you still have to throw it down. I mean, what's your alternative, right? You light bomb and you heal it.
All right, so you've seen your opponent pass. He's clearly saying, I'm not afraid of 5 damage from this dragon. And I'm fine if you attack into my 3/3. So just clearing this board with light bomb, does it change much?
I mean, it could work, right? Because you do heal the Guardian up to...
And go to face?
Yeah, I mean, you could smork a little bit. You know, you heal it back up to 7. But then if he's got 3 damage on top of the weapon, then you lose the Drake anyway. So there's a good consideration, I think, for just a Shadow Word Pain turn.
And it seems like there might be a second equality.
Absolutely,
because there were no attacks. It's like saying, hey, just play more. I have my equality, but I'm just waiting for more minions to equality consecrate.
Yeah, it's a really weird spot here. Wait.
I think Light Bomb is okay. You just deal with a lot of minions, you keep your minion alive. Even if there is equality, you kind of bait your opponent into attacking into your
And you do get a 2/3 on top at the end of the turn, because you can actually be very mana efficient with this without committing a 9-drop. So
it is risky though, because if you want to follow up with Ysera pretty much soon, you are left without a battery. But then you have to be aggressive. You don't have enough time.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it, but the Light Bomb actually hit for more damage than I remembered, and now Consecration makes it worse. I don't know if Dog thought about that scenario, because he was thinking, oh, he can't Consecrate True Silver my Drake, but the Light Bomb increased the damage that it dealt to itself by 1.
That Valence shows, man. Nobody remembers about the plus 1 spell damage.
You remember that? Who was it? Was it Alish? No.
It was Ignite.
Ignite, oh yes.
That's Story Cap too.
Alkanized Soul Priest fail. Zombiechao healing his opponent.
That was tough.
So, looks like the board clear will happen, and also Xiaobu picks up a card draw, which he desperately needs. We've barely seen Murlocs.
There is a War Leader, so we have 2 Murlocs already.
Here we go.
The Murlocs, man, they come from the seas.
But look at this Ysera. This is a good Ysera. You're afraid of Aldor Peacekeeper because the Acolyte might draw more, but you cannot afford playing it slow.
Well,
you have to pick something up here.
You have nothing else. You just have to slam it at this point.
Yep.
What do you get? Awake? Oh, Laughing Sister.
It's a 3/5. It lives
well, you probably
short. Oh, goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, the power of Paladin goes through again with yeah.
Fortunately, Paladin got something, you know? Like...
The thing is, they really needed help with the
absolutely.
expansion. So I'm glad they got what is a Tinkmaster over Spark.
Targetable.
Targetable
before
Tinkmaster over Spark is definitely a great card to have in your collection, especially since nobody else has access to it, Nimsh.
That's true.
Very, very solid here. Dog
Come on, Mage
looking
has
very sad.
with Unstable Portal.
You're right, they have it. Spellslinger also can give you an Unstable Portal, which can give you a Keeper. So Ethereal Conjurer can give you Unstable Portal, which can give you Spellslinger, which can give you Unstable Portal, and then Keeper of Ultimate.
It's a good train of thought, but right here, right now, Dog, I'm sure, is not really happy.
Oh, you gotta stay positive through the hard times. You know, it's a Conquest format. It's not the worst.
How positive are you about that Laughing Sister?
I'm pretty positive she's not gonna do very much. Yeah, she can't even get powered shielded.
Even with... Look at how bad Light Bomb is.
Oh, it's great. Don't be like that.
Seriously.
No,
just
it's a great
give
card.
the card draw, right? Because it's getting damage.
I think you want to heal the Acolyte and try to mill your opponent.
At this point, just giving him more Murlocs.
I don't know, man.
It's a really tough situation for
And
Dog.
you know the worst part is Thought Steal doesn't even solve the problem anymore since 2 Anyfins are in the hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's no chance the Dog picks up
He
the
can
reverse
Entomb
combo.
this. He just needs to pick up Entomb from Power Word Shield. So play the Worm Rest, buff it, get Entomb the free.
And stop the combo. Yeah.
Yes.
Free the Murlocs. Or put them in prison, pick one.
Oh man, this deck is so trollish, but it's actually pretty good. I love it.
I think the thing is, anything can happen as it exists right now is probably going to be, for a long time to come, the go-to combo deck in a very slow meta.
Is it like Patron, kind of? In a way that...
Honestly, I think it's Patron-like, yeah.
It is Patron-like, right?
It is.
It showed up, like we just laughed at it. It's like fun deck. Like a Patron, like Froden was playing Patron at
Absolutely.
Story. And suddenly, when we get a decent build in a specific meta game, it will shine.
Yeah, no, I think anything can happen has been... Because the thing is, it looks like a card that's made for Murloc decks, but it's actually made for control combo.
Oh man, like
Wow.
lay on hands to just get all the cards you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, just heal yourself, get the cards.
The dog's face right now is that of a man who just kind of goes through the game, maybe sees what's in the deck in case he ever has to replay against it.
There is a bluegill top deck.
Step 1, draw cards. Step 2, drop the Murlocs. Step 4, win the game.
Probably even. So how afraid are you of Entomb here? Do you want to lose your Murlocs for the combo?
I would smash both of them into this this Laughing Sister.
Because he might start thinking about going for face as well.
I mean, you can kill her and still get 2 damage from your... Actually, yeah, you're right. Maybe just smorking it is the right play.
Yeah, that's 9 damage to face, and some Murlocs will die. Like, you can't Entomb everything.
Oh, please no. Oh, please no. Oh, BGH, all right. Here we go. He keeps 1 Murloc. Entomb is not something he's worried about, it seems.
Twilight Garden is something, but right now his opponent is 29, and the combo is coming. So Noxious, let's summarize. How much damage is in the combo right now? We had 2 Bluegills die, and we have a War Leader on board. If War Leader dies, and it dies right now...
Two-turn lethal here from Xiaobu, I think, right? Because you go for the first... Unless you pick up another Murloc, then you might wait. But otherwise, I think you can go now, get 2 of those Bluegills, and... oh, the issue with that is you'd have to go... Yeah, you'd be 1 mana short of doing what you really want to do. I mean, if they die, though, you get like 4 Bluegills back with 2 War Leaders on the second anyfin. I think you just throw the first one here.
Which is pretty good, yeah, absolutely.
It looks like you'd be able to deal, what, 32 damage? No, 6. Yeah, you'd be dealing 24 on the second one. Yeah, 24 damage on the second piece of the combo.
But on the other hand, you don't have to. You can still take your time. Priest is nowhere near winning this game. Dog is literally falling asleep.
Yeah, and Doomsayer could come out as well. I mean, Xiaobu's got all the options in the world. He knows it.
Like, honestly, for Xiaobu, it might be a mental warfare as well. Because you kind of want to keep Dog in the game. You know you want it. So you want the Dog to continue playing.
I see, so you can actually play your cards. Instead of having him just quit and not let you show the Murlocs.
Yeah, and keep him really miserable at the end.
I kind of like that. This is like...
So like when the next game starts, Dog is feeling, oh man, this game was so long. I'm so exhausted about losing that game.
Yeah, but dude, Dog brought Freeze Mage, Control Warrior, probably, and a Priest. I think he's ready to just have the games go long, right?
All right. Hopefully. Oh, he has good stamina.
How do you know that, Nimsh?
I was casting a lot of his games at DreamHack Summer.
Gotcha. Nice recovery.
Did my best.
So... Xiaobu here just dropping Doomsayer, saying, all right, Dog, do you have a second Shadow Word Pain? Do you want to Cabal Shadow Priest this? I don't think so.
No, you don't Cabal that.
It's been done before, just to prevent the opponent from playing. Like, if they play Anything Can Happen on the following turn, then they don't have the right to, because they just lose all their Murlocs. And then you get an extra turn. Oh.
Well, Xiaobu is playing this game really... let's say conservatively.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's good. You can't lose the game if you play it that way, right?
Yeah, especially in this kind of deck.
Haha!
There is the Cabal.
You're laughing now, but...
Is it still okay to Cabal it? Like, you Cabal it, and then...
Yeah, you buy a turn, I guess. It's better than...
There's double Anything Can Happen anyway. You might even just play
heal. I mean, it gives you an extra heal, is what it does, right?
You can also just pass. Yeah,
well, sure. If you pass, though, you feel like you're gonna die.
Oh man, everything is here. Second War
play
Leader. 2
Murlocs. You go Wild Pyro and you equality that stuff down, or do you just let it just live on the board and smork a little bit? Yeah, just smork it.
Just deal the damage because you can.
Smork it like you mean it.
And there is the Shadow Word Death, but it doesn't matter.
There is a Light Bomb. There's a Shrinkmeister Cabal, which doesn't do anything. Actually, was there something you could do?
Nope.
Dog is out of this. He says, you know, I'm going to end my misery.
So Xiaobu takes game number 1 versus Dog.
Looks
with
like it.
Anything Can Happen deck.
Yeah, and that's the step 1, right? We expected a lot of that deck today, just based on the fact that Druid looks like the class to ban. You actually talked about that quite a bit before the tournament started. Is there anything else you would like to ban? And yes, there would be. if you expect people to bring control decks as a result of banning Druids, it's kind of like the next step thinking. But is it something you're going to be, always doing?
Let's talk about this banning a bit. So,
Sure.
like, what do you ban? You ban a deck that is really hard to counter because what you have to do in Conquest, you have to win with all the decks, and that's the basic strategy.
Yeah.
But if your opponent has one deck that he can't win with, you win as well.
Yeah, you just need to lock down that one class that you think he's going to bring, and then as a result, playing 3 control decks, means you're likely to win against one of them. If you're playing a very greedy list as well. What I have to wonder though is, like, we see Dog bringing a Dragon Priest, which isn't a control priest. So it makes the whole matchup very difficult. And now, Xiaobu with what looks like a Reno lock. We saw Fugen, which usually is indicative of a Reno deck. How does Dragon Priest fare against those? I feel like it's evenly matched, but they have to draw a ton to even compete.
Yeah, I think it's hard because what Reno Lock does, if it hits a good curve, it plays like a normal mid-range deck to some point. Like, you play a lot of good minions, and then you have those amazing kills at the end. So you don't have to really think about your health pool.
Yeah, there's Harrison Jones, I guess, in Dog's deck that might make a tiny bit of a difference, but usually it's not.
Jaraxxus?
No, Harrison Jones against Jaraxxus, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing that might help, but you're already dead to the 6/6s anyway.
Yeah.
He does run double Light Bomb. Entomb also helps a ton in the matchup, but if Dog only runs 1 Entomb, that makes the entire thing a lot more difficult.
The big question right now is, can he deal with Thaddeus? Because StarLadder and Fugen are already there.
You can just, Entomb one of them.
That's
pretty trollish.
That's actually pretty great.
Yeah. You just take whichever one comes
It's like,
second.
oh, nice combo, man. Can I take the combo in one piece?
Can I take your fun? And then get it BGH?
Still, but looking at the hand from Xiaobu, he has a really good hand. With the curve, with Shredder, and then StarLadder and Fugen, and Torison as well. He might fit Torison a bit earlier before StarLadder and Fugen. So he can do whatever he wants. He even has the AoE with the Hellfire.
Yeah, right now Dog has to be scared. He's like, I want to play more stuff, but then it's not even Hellfire that's the issue, because everything's kind of above 4 health. The issue becomes a Shadow Flame, buffed by even something like Abusive. And now, if there's something like Abusive attack Shadow Flame, that's pretty much the entire board gone. So you can't really take that chance.
As you mentioned, Hellfire doesn't do that much at this board. So what you have to do as Xiaobu, you probably have to just play minions.
Yeah, I don't mind either playing on curve, keep the coin. You can play Shredder, keep the coin for Emperor, or you play back-to-back Fugen, Stalag into Emperor, which is also very high pressure.
Dog realized he has a beatdown here. He just needs to win before something happens. The thing with Fugen here is that you can play Sun Fury to taunt it.
You mean the turn afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could. Might not be the worst thing in the world.
If Dog ignores it, he will not be able to ignore it after you play it.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-attack minion versus Priest. It's always good.
I mean, if you play Shredder, it dies with a 3/6, and then what about Nova, right? Like, if Nova comes out on this board, you're not going to like it one bit.
All right, so Fugen is a good pressure minion on board. It has 4 attacks, so it's hard to deal with. It will be a good taunt minion, and it also provides a possibility of Thaddeus, which is an 11/11 dude, Naxxrama's boss, that it's being summoned when Stalag and Fugen die.
Yeah. Yeah, Thaddeus is, it's a big threat, but usually it's not the one that Priest is most worried about. I'd say it's all the stuff that comes afterwards. Emperor Thorson, Sylvanas, those are really annoying minions, because you do have to play Light Bomb sometimes on the one guy.
Yeah.
There's one minion on the board, you have to throw a Light Bomb at it.
Oh, maybe Thaddeus is a target you have to spend it on.
Yeah, sometimes.
Shadow Ward Death is actually a great thing to deal with Thaddeus.
I think that the problem with Thaddeus is that you've expended removal on the 2 first parts of the body, and then you're expending even more.
And then there's Dr. Boom coming after,
exactly,
and you're like, oh, hello.
Followed by whatever it is that... Like, a Twisting Nether is also a really big issue if you're Dragon Priest. At no point after turn 6, if there's a coin or an Emperor, do you feel safe playing anything.
But I guess when you play versus Reno Lock, you can't play around everything.
Oh, you can't.
They have one-offs of everything almost.
Yeah. And it's what's really fascinating about Reno Lock, I think, is the fact that Warlock is the class that has the most versatile tools. Well, there's a good reason to Shadow Flame if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, but do you Shadow Flame for sure?
I Shadow Flame because I want Emperor on 6, but maybe you don't.
So what are the options? If you Shadow Flame, you can deal with this board. You just kill everything.
You could attack the 3/6 Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
I mean Hellfire. Sorry, just Hellfire. That leaves the Dark Cultist at 1 HP, and that might be enough. Maybe you don't have to commit more than just a Hellfire. And it's going to be your 4/1 versus his 3/4. But he guarantees to buff whatever he wants with the Cultist. Maybe that's a problem.
Can you take more damage here as Xiaobu? You don't have Reno in your hand yet. You do have the Farseer.
I'd feel scared, but this is pretty much the textbook. I don't find Reno, but I'm usually okay. Yeah, this is exactly what I was scared about for Xiaobu. He can basically he's forced to let Dog do what he wants with this board because of the way the game spanned out. Mortal Coil would have been insane. Oh man, okay.
Yeah, now it's tough because Shadow Flame is not that good anymore. He can Shadow Flame, Sun Fury, Belcher. How good is Belcher in this position?
It's before Shrinkmeister Cabal, but it's still giving the opponent a slime, and you've already used up your Hellfire. Demon Wrath would get rid of the slime if you found it,
and he's still
so
good
it might be
damage.
fine. But there's a lot of damage on the board. Holy Nova's lethal if you don't stop this.
What you can do, you can play Bran and heal yourself for 6 with Farseer. That's something. And you play 2 minions and you escape the range.
Yeah, if you're Xiaobu here, you're freaking out. I feel like this is the toughest turn he's going to get all game. This is exactly the turn that's going to determine whether or not he's able to pull through.
What about just slamming Torison and be like, you're a priest, you'll not be able to deal 1 more damage.
You won't have Nova?
You have no Nova, you have no second
You have no
Crafter.
Velen still chosen? You have like 5 cards that kill you.
How desperate are you?
Oh, I think you're pretty desperate right now if you're Xiaobu.
Alright, so he goes for the heal, develop board ability play, which is fine.
And Cabal Shadow Priest is going to take that brand.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I hope so, at least.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, though.
Unless you want a Drake and Shadow Word Pain, that might be possibly a tiny bit better. But, I mean, the thing is you could Drake on the following turn and get 2 cards out of it if you have Bran on the board.
Do you focus on dealing damage a lot? Well, you can deal 7 damage for sure, and then with a free 1, you probably want to kill. So I think I like the Cabal Steel Brand.
I think actually I like the Cabal for a later turn, just because you have Pain now, and that means that you'll be able to steal something anyway. It doesn't mean it's going to be more valuable than a Brand.
But you have the combo with the Shinmeister.
But you have the combo right now, and you might as well take advantage of it while it's still there.
I absolutely like attacking to the Farseer because you play around Shadow Flame a bit.
A ton, yeah. All right, and the Fen of Argus, no help for Xiaobu here, and he still is in the same spot of possibly dying if he doesn't find a solution.
He can taunt it. Well, he can play a 5-drop and then taunt it up, but then we know there is Shadow Word Death, so that will be game.
Light Bomb wouldn't quite be it, but
if he plays Belcher and Sun Fury, that doesn't change much. You still lose that. Can you Sun Fury something?
This is interesting because this is kind of what Dragon Priest tries to do against many decks now. They're against control decks, they're playing the beatdown. And funny enough, they do have a lot of minions and they have a really good curve. It's possibly the only Priest deck that has a curve because of the way that the Warmest Agent interacts with the Twilight Whelp, and every single card kind of lines up to be a tempo deck. If there's no Reno, and this is why Shrinkmeister Cabal is a good combo. This is why.
Yeah. Just steal the Belcher and go for face, and that's it. So Dog is going to take game number 2 versus Xiaobu, stealing the Belcher.
And here we go. Priest doing Priest things. Dog will equalize the series 1-1, and the Priest will get a win despite the fact that Dog didn't feel like it was going to be a good thing against another control lineup.
Never Reno.
Never Reno.
I wonder if that's Torison was the play at that point.
Going all in on the Nova not being there.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I could absolutely see...
Having a 5/5 that absolutely has to be destroyed, and then creating your hand, like improving your hand a bit, so that maybe you can play that Defender of Argus with something, or maybe you can play more things with Sun Fury Protector. But that game is over. We have a 1-1, Priest and Paladin locked. There's a Shaman and Warlock for Xiaobu. We know it's Reno lock. And Warrior Mage. You're saying this is Freeze Mage and Control Warrior?
Dog would probably play Freeze Mage knowing him, and the way that he banned the Druid to me indicates that he is bringing a Freeze Mage. Otherwise, if you were playing, let's say, Mech Mage, Tempo Mage, you'd be okay.
Doesn't make sense,
against
yeah.
it. So the Druid is kind of the giveaway here. And we do see the Lvxiaobu Blizzard Icelands, which indicative of Freeze Mage, if anything. And one thing to keep in mind is that although Reno is amazing at stopping burst, the mages can play a very weird game and still just kill you in one turn.
Yeah. So what's the strategy? As mage, obviously, you want to bring your opponent to 15 with Lvxiaobu and then just unleash the damage and win in one turn.
I think the trick for Dog is to be able to draw, his scientists to find the secrets, to thin the deck so that his Arcane Intellects give him burn and hit Emperor Thorson with all the burn at once and just dodge Lotheb on that fateful turn. Like, that's a really tough scenario.
How do you not lose this Xiaobu? Is the ultimate combination?
I think you can.
Reno and Big Hunter, for example, like whatever, like board. So when the Lvxiaobu comes, you just Reno back to 30.
I think Lotheb's a really big deal. Like Lotheb and Reno are going to be, I think, what decide the game. Dr. Boom as well. The Boom bots dealing damage to the mage at the wrong time might also play a pretty big role. If you keep the Bran for Healbot, you have 2 Renos effectively.
Yeah. There's tons of heals.
Exactly. So if you play Bran properly in this deck, I think you're going to be getting a lot of mileage out of it. Double Joust.
Let's do it.
Jouster is still a pretty okay minion, though, all things considered, because it is a zombie chow that does not heal the opponent. If it wins, of course. But Freeze Mage has 2 Scientists, 1 Doomsayer, 1
and
Moon
it wins,
Hoarder.
actually. So that's a nice Jouster. Or Zombie Chowster.
Zombie Chowster. Oh man, imagine that, Zombie Jouster.
It's like you joust when it heals or not heal.
Okay, it's a 1 mana 2/3. Okay, it's a 1 mana 2/3, and it says Battle Cry. You reveal 2 cards, and if it loses the joust, you summon, or it turns into a Zombie Chow.
So you summon Gluth.
For the opponent.
Yeah.
For the opponent. Yeah.
That would be tough.
You give him good stuff. Or you turn your hero into Ragnaros. If you fail.
That we already have in game.
No, but on turn 1, losing the game this fast? I don't know, man.
Would be tough.
So it looks like the Belcher is going to be coming out. It's a pretty tricky minion to remove, but what I like from Xiaobu's position is the fact that he's on the board really heavily, and by not trading into the Scientist, he's forcing Dog to perhaps draw a secret. Maybe there's a chance the Dog doesn't find what he wants. However, here he gets the second Ice Barrier. It's guaranteed.
It's a really important situation because as a Freeze Mage, sometimes you just want to deal as much damage as possible with the small minions to put your opponent in the defensive. And for Xiaobu, right now, because he has the tempo advantage, he has the board, he'll be able to deal damage and conserve his health and life tap when he needs. If
Loot Hoarder takes away your life taps, if Mad Scientist and Loot Hoarder hit you for 2 every turn, it's a lot of life taps you're missing out on.
And you want to have as many cards as possible versus Freeze Mage because it is kind of like a control battle at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I remember Handlock back in the days was an interesting matchup because some people said Freeze Mage wins every time because the Giants don't matter, because you can always find a way to stop them from attacking and then you kill them from high health. And later on, it became kind of more known that Handlock was a tempo deck, not a control deck that tried to beat Freeze Mage at control. It was just trying to tempo you down with, you play Watcher, you just silence it, you go face before Fireball
play
can
big
hit.
Minions.
Exactly, so you just try to tempo the Mage down, and eventually you're able to win that way. So that was a really interesting switch, I think, of mentality, and I feel like Reno, because of the Bran Healbot combination, just gets way too much heals if there's not enough burn after Alex.
Oh man, Fugan and Stalag are such nasty combination versus Freeze Mage. It's like you want to clear the board,
but you don't.
And you don't. It's a big Thaddeus. Alright, so for now it seems like it's a stalemate. Flame Strike seems nice, but...
So you'd have to start pinging stuff, which I don't think is realistic. You're going to have to hope there's no Owl in that deck. That's pretty much it. No Owl, no Siphon Soul, nothing. All right, Xiaobu, what's your top deck?
Horizon.
I guess you could try an Implosion for 4 with Dark Bomb, but that's not going to work very often.
You at least have a chance.
I mean, you could Shadow Flame Dark Bomb. It's just worthless.
If you Implosion...
Could you Shadow Flame Dark Bomb? Just to keep the Belcher in the 2/2?
Is there any other situation where you would use Shadow Flame?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think you can, because there is nothing Freeze Mage is going to play Sans Antonidas. Like, Antonidas is the only minion.
The thing is, you're surrendering a life tap, right? Like, that's what we have to keep in mind. If he does that, then he doesn't draw more.
Yeah, but then, like, he loses the board, and he will lose Fugen anyway. So I think that's reasonable. Implosion is a funny move.
It's a coin toss, right?
Yeah.
All right, he does value the tap more. Might find the owl too. Keep that in mind. He doesn't. So it looks like a very boring try. Do you play Zombie Chow before you get to heal the mage later on? Like, you just drop it? Guess not.
Because you will be having too many cards?
No, you just drop the Chow before the mage is lower than 30.
Oh, okay.
And get rid of it. But I guess he still has armor, so he can do that on the following turn anyway.
Yeah.
And Dog with what is probably the worst mage hand I've seen for card draw at that point of the game. But
that's a little burst.
If he finds Emperor, we're gonna have to stop laughing.
There is one Emperor on the other side of the board, and it hits a couple of good cards. There's also Siphon Soul, so some heal is possible for Xiaobu. There is Lvxiaobu.
All right, I think Dog is gonna have to just go all in on this. You might Flame Strike, but you're not fireballing that Emperor with Lvxiaobu in hand, are you? What's your play?
Oh, man.
This is the roughest turn for Dog I think I could have ever come up with, because he has a lethal if he plays Alex next turn.
If there is no heal. Because he has, at the moment, he has 16 points of damage, right? After Lvxiaobu, 17. If he can ping as well. 8, 9.
Yeah, he's got it. He just has to get all the damage if there's no healing. But I
16,
mean,
yeah.
It's very unlikely that.
It is unlikely that after playing Lvxiaobu there will be no heal
like
whatsoever
0
from the Reno lock.
It'd be very unlikely. So he's just gonna set up a Flame Strike. He thinks not worth fireballing, and if I Flame Strike, I can't ping. So I might as well just ping now and let him overextend. But now the Stalag for Xiaobu could be played, preventing the Flame Strike from Dog.
Yeah,
oh,
Stalag will be pretty nasty, just bringing the Thaddeus. Is there anything better? Because, you know, Dr. Boom is green, and you mostly play it.
I mean, you can tap in Dr. Boom and then play Stalag, because why not?
I like Dr. Boom with Bran. Having 4 bombs.
That is absolute hell.
It does change
for
a lot.
For a Freeze Mage who doesn't actually have any minions to tank the hits, that is possibly suicide, right?
You do just face tank the bombs.
I think I like Stalag, but... You know, I'd keep Dr. Boom for the brand, as you said, or wait, I don't know. I like Stalag a ton here.
I like Stalag as well.
You see that he's setting up a Flame Strike, and you're punishing him for it.
That's one of the best responses to Flame Strike.
Absolutely.
Because you know this has to be Flame Strike. You've seen Frost Nova.
Dog's face. There was a little bit of a recognition in the face. His mouth went, whoa. Whoa.
Dog is like, what should I do now? There's an Arcane Intellect for Dog, so he can finally draw cards.
A Blizzard would be a great top deck instead of having the Flame Strike, but that's a lot of mana reduction on Xiaobu's side.
They just go all in like Straza.
And top deck wins with Arcane Int.
If he gets...
I mean, I kind of like just top decking Nova or Icelands. Arcane Int, you find Blizzard or Nova, sorry, not Icelands, or the other Icelands for the burst. Drawing Emperor is also not a bad thing. I mean, there's a few plays you can make, because you're not dead next turn.
You still have an Ice Block up.
And possibly not in 3 turns, because you still have the Ice Block up, so...
So he's thinking about slamming Lvxiaobu, and he's going for it.
And there we go! Xiaobu is going to have to find the answer.
That's the man, that's the dog. There is a Siphon Soul, though, so he will go up to 18.
Well,
and a Farseer.
Yeah, that's 6 extra health, but Dog is fine, because Dog will find Arcane Int into Icelands, into the other Fireball, and then Emperor Thorson will come out. Ice Block to save him 1 extra turn.
Alright, so right now, at this moment, Dog has 16 points of damage in his hand, and there is 6 points of heal. So he needs to find 5 more, right? He just needs a Fireball.
He needs a Fireball, that's all he needs. And mana, you know. And dodge Reno, dodge the Heal Bot, dodge the Brand Farseers, dodge the Voodoo Doctor from Peddler, dodge everything.
Dodge all of them.
Yeah, dodge a lot of cards in Xiaobu's deck. So it's looking like... I think Dog's going to have a really rough time in this one. The lack of cards.
You're saying that, but in 2 turns he might actually be a winner. So we'll see, Noxious. At this point...
I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's a great situation.
I am loving this.
And it's 1-1, so they are evenly tied. There is a Siphon Soul. Dog is concentrating. He's getting the top deck powers.
I mean, Dog right now gets a good Flame Strike, the best he's ever gonna get.
Oh man, that's 6 with Bran.
No, Xiaobu is giving more Flame Strike value to Dog. But he's putting his opponent on 11, which
And
guess
there's
what?
Thaddeus.
is there. Oh!
There is the Thalnos.
A game changer.
It is a good card. It deals a bit more damage.
This is possibly a game changer.
So with Thalnos, it's 7 plus 8, it's 15. But you don't want to do that this turn. You probably want to just Arcane Intellect and
I want to
Flame
find
Strike the
Emperor
board?
here. Yeah, I'm looking like because you heal for 5 with Xiao, so the Thaddeus alone doesn't kill you, right? Because you go back up to 16. So if you find Emperor on this turn,
What about just Arcane Intellect and Fireball, Frostbolts?
Oh, goodness.
Oh man, that's good. That's really good for Dog.
yeah, Dog is loving that top deck here.
Xiaobu is he a bit stressed?
I imagine. Look at his face.
Yeah,
well,
it's
his hands
Freeze
are
Mage,
out there.
right? You can just die.
Oh man, is Dog just setting up the lethal with the double Frostbolt Ice Lance with the Blood Mage? It looks like he is, man. That's it.
Loot Hoarder probably as well to try card.
Yeah, the ping, man. You have to ping if you really.
If you go for the damage, how much damage is it?
I think
Iceland's 5 plus
he's trying to bait the Reno as early as possible. He's just saying, do
13
you have
damage.
it? Because if you get him down too low, Jiraxis is also an out, so you can't go all in. And the double Frostbolt
Iceland's if he top decks an Iceland's here, it's lethal, I guess, because double Iceland's is 10 damage and Frostbolts are 8. So
Yeah,
it's
8
like
total.
18. Yeah.
So technically what Dog has here is 2 turns, because this turn the Ice Block pops, following turn he Flame Strikes, Ice Blocks, and then he gets another turn to draw. So he's got 2 more draws, 3 more with the Loot Hoarder.
He just needs like a Fireball, like any damage actually, right?
Yeah, anything really. Mortal Coil, nicely done here by Xiaobu. Molten Giant, that's an okay card, and there's no Reno in sight for Xiaobu, and no heal bot yet either.
So for Xiaobu, I think he just needs to play Boom with the bomb.
I love it. I love the Dr. Boom here, but you won't be able to fill up the board. You'll get 1 bomb.
Yeah, and that's because but 1 bomb is fine. Like if you pop the Ice Block, he can't Flame Strike the bomb because he will be dead.
Yeah, technically there was a lethal almost guaranteed for Xiaobu here. If he went for Dr. Boom, I think he won the game every time.
Because Dog cannot do anything,
Yeah,
right?
he can't wipe the board.
He can't kill himself and kill the bomb at the same time.
I'm pretty sure there was a lethal there.
But he doesn't have to clear this board. Dog can just Ice Block.
Yeah, Dog doesn't care about this.
Acolyte of Pain is not it.
Well, it's an extra draw.
It is, but you will have to play Ice Block this turn, so you only have 7 mana, and you need to deal some damage and hope there is no heal. So it's a really tricky situation.
Well, no matter what happens here, Dog is going to have to hope that he gets some type of game-winning card here. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that now that Xiaobu filled up his board, the Dr. Boom is not going to get bombs out.
He still needs that 1 Ice Lance and no heals from Xiaobu.
You can't give Xiaobu the ability to wipe his own board, I don't think. I think Xiaobu is going to have to kill his own minions here just to get Dr. Boom out.
With a bomb. At least 1 bomb.
He can Dark Bomb, he can use Shadow Flame, just get rid of them. You know, BGH. Oh no, you can't because Thaddeus spawns, but...
No, you can BGH the Thorison.
Yeah, you BGH Thorison to make room, and then Dr. Boom spawns all the bombs, and you win.
Oh man, Dog is so close to winning or losing this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a kind of 1 or 2 cards situation.
So for Xiaobu, you want Dr. Boom and possibly... Well, you would love to deal 1 more damage to Mage.
I think it's
put
fine.
Him in 1.
It doesn't really matter too much at this stage.
So you just... What can you Dark Boom? You can Dark Boom the free. 1 bomb should be enough. Just kill everything on board.
You have to kill the Acolyte.
First you pop the block. Then you kill the rest of the minions. And then you kill the free Farseer or whatever. Like you kill the 2 free. And you play Dr. Boom to have 1 bomb. So whenever the clear happens...
But maybe more than 1 bomb. I mean, you want to... I think at this point...
2 bombs? Yeah, 2 bombs should be good.
I think two bombs is kind of the optimal thing. The thing is right now...
But the problem with not keeping the Dark Bomb is... What if there is the Nova Doomsayer?
The number 2 Nova Doomslayer. You have the Owl as an out, I guess.
Well, not in your hand.
Well, it's in the deck. Reno and Owls and Healbot even.
So right now you have to keep the Dark Bomb to just win next turn. And you've seen Lvxiaobu. There might be 1 heal bot. Because
why didn't he just kill something in Dr. Boom? Oh, goodness.
There is a Frozen Nova, but it's not enough. So Xiaobu is going to take this game. Oh, man. That was a long ride for Dog. Is there any chance he can do something here?
I'm looking at this. I can't. Maybe Thalnos self-ping, but there's no more ice blocks. There's no
Only
more
one
way
ice
for him to
barrier.
heal.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
Dark Bomb is lethal here.
Yeah, Dark Bomb is going to guarantee Xiaobu wins this game because no second ice lands. Will he be nice enough to show us the top deck? You know, just play Thalnos, ping it, and just show me what you've got. Or are you going to... Well, I mean, you have to go and hope that Nova works.
Well, at this point, Dog is not dead in his mind.
Yeah, you just Nova and just face.
Yeah, and hope there is no damage. And sometimes there is no damage. It's Reno Lock.
Sometimes there isn't.
There is only, what, one Hellfire and one Dark Bomb in the deck.
Yeah, you've seen one Hellfire already. Demon Wrath doesn't kill you. It's got to be Doomguard. It's got to be Dark Bomb. It's got to be Jaraxxus. You know, Jaraxxus also works with the weapon. There's a few things that could kill you. But, you know, now that we look back on the game, you know, Xiaobu did have a few opportunities for lethal. The Dr. Boom being played earlier would have, in fact...
No, there were ice blocks always, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dog can't clear as long as that's there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so Dog goes down.
And here we go, 2-1 for Xiaobu.
He's playing extremely well. And Reno Lock...
Without Reno.
Without Reno actually works.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the biggest mind game of them all. He's actually not playing the card in the deck.
Oh man, you know it's a funny thing because recently I've heard about a Zoo deck that had a Reno in it. I don't know if you saw that list, but it was really interesting. It was essentially a Zoo list, except you know how there's two types of Zoo where one is hyper aggressive, one is a bit slower.
Yeah.
You kind of made both in a one deck, and instead of just trying to curve up without heals, you had one Reno in there to salvage some games, give you more life taps, win the mirror match. Like, it really helps a lot.
It should work. It should always work in a Warlock deck.
Yeah.
But Noxious, we're going to see the Shaman, the aggressive Shaman build versus that Freeze Mage.
Uh-oh, that's a lot of damage coming out from the Shaman. Might be too much for Dog to handle, but usually... that is bad against Freeze Mage. They freeze your face for every single minute of every day.
Sir Finley.
Sir Finley is insane.
Yeah, it's amazing. Because totems do nothing. And suddenly you get
Are you saying Shaman's hero power is bad?
Steady shot? Yeah, I'm absolutely saying that. Is it a steady shot?
No, it's the best. The thing is...
Oh man, its Shapeshift is the best.
It looks good, but Doomhammer is going to get frozen with Frostbolts all day long.
But you can't... Well, you can Shapeshift and gain armor. And Druid is really good versus Freeze Mage because of that armor.
The extra bit of health,
Yeah, exactly. And Doomhammer actually strikes for 6 when you have Shapeshift.
Yeah, that's why usually I think it's the kind of the best outcome. I like Steady Shot a lot because the thing is, if you're Shaman, you're not going to lose to Burst from the Mage. Like, this is not your biggest worry.
Oh, Trog is nice. It's always good to have a Trog early because you force your opponent to do something about it. And at this point, Dog doesn't have anything.
The Dog is still in a very okay spot, though. You know, he's got the Loot Hoarder, which if there's no Earth Shock for Xiaobu, is going to do exactly what it has to.
Ice Barrier is actually good. Like, a lot of times you don't want to draw your secrets early, but Ice Barrier versus Aggro decks is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just 8 health.
Absolutely. Xiaobu's always here. In this game, he's been drawing a bit off curve. You know, Finley was good, but his turn 2 was a 1-drop. His turn 3 is a 2-drop. It's okay. But this is usually not the type of deck against which you can afford that type of slow play.
Yeah, next
Scientist coin Doomslayer. That's it, just shove it.
It's possible, right?
Yeah.
How much damage is there? That Trog, man, is so dangerous.
Yeah, you're worried, but I don't think you can afford coining it out. It's because you've got a coin Blizzard if you want it. You know, your turn 4 can be just Doomsayer ping, and then turn 5 coin Blizzard.
Right, and you're not taking that much damage yet.
Precisely.
So Leper Gnome is alright. Maybe you would like to buff your minion, but you can't overload at this point. You have to play the Doomhammer.
I think you just gotta shove with your hero power. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want to overload, as you said. It's too much risk.
You might even actually kill the Mad Scientist here because the secrets will come eventually.
Or do you smart?
And you will be able to deal a lot of damage with Trog if you protect it.
But if he attacks your Trog, that means he doesn't get a secret. So it's really a consideration here of
And he has to ping the Trog as well.
Exactly.
So, like, it locks 2 mana from him.
Pretty much. So he doesn't get the secret, and he also locks out 2 mana. But again, he could get value out of it. You know, you attack the 1/1, and then you ping the Trog, and then you set it up for Blizzard, and then you end up losing your board 1 turn later. So things still go pretty badly.
Yeah, but still, I think I like keeping the Trog because of Doomhammer. It buffs the Trog so much. And this Doomsayer is going to die easily.
Well, the ping on Leper Gnome really helps keep it alive.
With the Doomhammer? Doomhammer buffs the Chalk with what, like plus
2 attack.
Plus 2 attack, yeah.
But the thing is, Dog doesn't really mind too much because it's 7. Basically, it's 2 mana, heal 7 against a deck that tries to just get you down as low as possible, as fast as possible.
Oh man,
that's gonna be rough if there's no Frostbolt.
That's the first Rock Biter.
Yeah.
But how many Frostbolts do you even have? I mean,
two Ice
you
Lances.
do have, yeah, that's some freezes, but you have to spend them early instead of dealing damage.
I think it's fine because once Shaman is exhausted, which I guess they're not very often exhausted. That's kind of the purpose of the deck, is they just don't exhaust their resources. All right, is he just going all in on the face here? Looks like it, because otherwise...
Well, he does have the Rock Biter now and Crackle, so it's a possible pop next turn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Lucky for him, he's got the ice. Luckily for Dog, that is, he's got the ice barrier. It's just really unfortunate for him that he hasn't found the Frostbolt or an Ice Lance. But this is still going to be enough to survive, right? Because it's going to be 10. He's going to be on 19 health. It's enough.
Yeah, he will survive. But still, it's an interesting line of play for Shaman, because Shaman can do things like this. Ignore the board. There's so much burst.
Yeah,
lava bursts, lava shocks, crackles, lightning bolts. And
it's a really strong aesthetic. I love it about the class. Yeah.
Arcane Intellect.
He's looking for a freeze. It's such a strong freeze if he gets it. Otherwise, this is still fine. He's got removal for the board. If he doesn't get, popped in this spot, then he can always play Emperor and then force one of the Rock Biter hits to go to the Emperor with something else.
So how much damage is there for Lvxiaobu? He can deal 10 with the Rock Biter.
16 at most.
16 at most.
With the highest roll.
Yeah, that's true,
Rock Biter hero power pretty much might be better than Crackle because you still get an extra 2 damage from it and you get the 1 armor.
I think you might go for a Rock Biter
Argent
Horse Rider here.
Yeah, set it up early.
Just to deal the maximum number of damage with the minions to hand.
I like that.
Use your mana effectively as well.
But if your goal is to maximize the damage output you've got before Alex draws a turn, let's say, then going with the Rock Biter play is fine. All right, so he's not committing too much damage. He wants to make sure that he pops the block at a reasonable time.
Well, this is also concealing damage, and that's not that much mana to spend all those cards.
Yeah.
So you probably can just keep them for this one big turn to pop the block.
Which is likely next turn, but Dog might go for the Emperor turn, and that might scare Lvxiaobu. If the Frostbolt gets picked up, that's going to be pretty devastating, but that's not it. Emperor is going to have to come down either way.
Well, Emperor is great at this point.
Yeah, no Frostbolt, no Ice Lance really makes it tough to beat a Shaman who has a Rock Biter. A Doomhammer set up with possible Rock Biter turns, but you have to be bluffing answers.
Well, Thorison is threatening as well, because now with all those cards, if you get a second Ice Block, you will live even more.
Well, I guess it's not that threatening when you're sitting on the Feral Spirit. And
yeah, that's true. And you still have your Doomhammer. So for the next turn, if there is nothing to protect you, you just die to the Doomhammer being Dog.
Precisely. Yeah, the Frostbolts and Ice Lances are supposed to be your ticket to victory. Looks like they're
it's
not
hammer
there
time,
yet.
Noxious.
Yeah.
It's hammer time.
More hammer than Magni.
Don't worry, lass. Oh, wait.
Yeah, don't worry, love. Oh, wait. I don't love you, Jaina.
It's what Tracer said.
Yeah. That's what she said, for real. Oh, hi! A little bit late to the party, but at least we might win if you work out, Icelands.
Do we ping Talnos to get an Ice Block? Is it a force in play?
Oh!
Oh, close.
Actually, you Nova Icelands and you might just win if there's no burst from hand. You're hoping there's like 2 Feral Spirits, a Trog, and another Doomhammer. 2 Feral Spirits, a Trog, and a Doomhammer. Something ridiculously bad. You're hoping for the worst from Lvxiaobu, but that is not the worst. He's got a Crackle ready to go.
That is not the reality. Lvxiaobu has the Crackle, and he set up that perfectly. He burns Dog and takes the series 3-1.
Burns the Dog, all right. Little known fact, Lvxiaobu means dog eater in Chinese.
I don't know, man.
No? You said that.
Really?
Yeah, you said it meant dog eater. You speak Chinese.
We can call him the Dog Eater now.
You're a fluent Chinese speaker, Nimsh.
We need to ask Froden at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Monk speaks Chinese as well.
Yeah, Strifecro does as well.
I don't speak
and
Chinese.
And you know who speaks Chinese?
Who?
Eloise.
Eloise speak Chinese. I thought she just spoke English. I never heard her speak Chinese.
Really?
Yeah, every time I see her cast or comment anything, always in English.
She speaks Chinese with Frontline all the time. Xiaobu speaks Chinese as well. We might ask him after the game.
I don't know.
All right, guys. So that was the first series. Well played for Xiaobu.
Yep.
He played really extremely well, and we were talking about this before the tournament started. Like, he's one of the best
Chinese players. Yeah. On the Chinese scene, he's ranked very, very highly. With the amount of players in that scene as well, it's really difficult to make it to the top. There's a few names that we know, I want to say in the West in a really weird way, but we don't hear about too many players. And there's Love. They were actually competing in the I-League, and to qualify for this, Love was there.
There's a lot of Love in the West.
Yes, Love CX is definitely a good player that we in the West know because we like Love. And he's kind of the big favorite, but out of it, came out, we had Robin and Xiaobu. So in a nutshell, he's competing with the best and beating the best. And hopefully for him, it works out because we need more, that Eastern domination.
Yeah, more players, and I'm super happy that we have those players playing here with us today. Guys, this is just the first day out of 3 days. We'll have a lot of Hearthstone action, and we even haven't mentioned the prize pool.
That's right. We didn't even have to speak of it. But
$50,000. $50,000, and the winner takes 20.
Yeah, it's actually a really huge prize pool. Last time Stansivka got first place. First place was 6K. And then second place with 3.5. Now the stakes have kind of tripled for the first place spot, and I think this just is kind of a representation of where Hearthstone is going overall, kind of as a tournament scene.
The prize pool
it just keeps inflating, like the size of the prize pools just keeps going up and up and up, which means that hopefully there's so much interest in it that we end up getting more and more good players that show us some of the coolest stuff to play.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I think it was an amazing start to the whole tournament, but for now we're ready to go into the break. So guys, stay tuned for more Hearthstone action for SL I League Star Series.